we're going to do is we're going to identify the coordinates of A and coordinates of B. So what is A? What are the coordinates for A? 2, 2. What about B? -1, -2, right? Okay. Now we're going to make segment AB and turn it into the hypotenuse for ABC, where the point C is 2, -2. So fun fact, in geometry, they always tell you like what the shape is by whatever the shape is out front. In geometry, we title the figure with whatever the points names are. So this is triangle ABC. So we're going to draw this segment of A to B. And then it said C is at 2, -2. That's right here. So this guy is going to be C. Does everybody see how I did that? I drew a line segment and then created triangle ABC. Now, we need to find the length from A to C. What did we learn yesterday that we can use to find the length of something? Not the Pythagorean theorem. Distance formula. So we learned about the distance formula yesterday. You weren't here. Here it is. Okay. Oh, fantastic. All right. So we could use the distance formula, but since it's a vertical line, we can just count. So how much of a distance is this guy? 4. Good answer. Okay. Now subtract the y values for A and C. Subtract the y values for A and C. So for A, we had 2. For C, we had -2. So that's going to give us 4. Now we're going to find the length of BC. So BC is how many units? 3. And we're going to subtract the the x values for B and C. So for B, we had -1. And for C, we had 2. So -1 minus 2 is -3. I'm going to give you a second. Notice how we found the distance, and finding the distance was the same thing as subtracting the y values or subtracting the x values. Does that make sense? Like these numbers are the same. It's not just by happenstance. Okay. Now we're going to plug into the Pythagorean theorem. So we got a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to take x2 minus x1. That was 4. And we're going to square it. And then y2 minus y1 squared. That's going to give me 3 squared, which is going to be 9, equals c squared. So 4 squared is going to give me 16 plus 9, or 3 squared is going to give me 9. And that's going to equal 25. Now, we still want c by itself. So what is the inverse operation for squaring something? It's the opposite of squaring something. Square rooting. So rewrite the above equation to get c by itself. So if we actually took the square root of both sides, we would get c equals 5, right? Yeah. If we were going to write c by itself using this formula right here, this guy right here, I would say c equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. What does this look like? What formula is this? The distance formula. So this is, take the Pythagorean theorem, which is the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you're turning it into solving for c, and that's the distance formula. That's what this is proving. And this is finding the distance of this guy.
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and plug in. Again, this is the distance formula. All right, first thing, label your stuff. Okay, now we plug in. So that's going to give me 4 minus 3 squared plus 1 minus 5 squared. Questions on that? Okay, and we simplify. So that's going to give me square root of 1 squared plus negative 4 squared. When we simplify that, that's going to give us the square root of 17. Yay! Questions? That's a mastery check for tomorrow. Yep. Unless y'all want to knock those mastery checks out today. No. No. Everybody said no. Okay. All right. Go ahead and try OT and A. I'm sorry. Find the distance between each one of these. Okay, so on the first one, I got square root of 40, or like Sebastian said, 2 square root of 10. And then on the second one, I got square root of 1,105. Questions on that? Okay, so you're going to have a line, and then you're going to have a point, and it's going to say, write an equation that's parallel, and then it's going to say, write an equation that's perpendicular. Remember, parallel has the same slope, and perpendicular has the negative reciprocal. Is where you flip the fraction. You flip your chicken. Okay, so first things first, I'm telling you now that the equation is not going to be in y equals mx plus b form. It's going to be something like this. So is this in y equals mx plus b form? No, we've got to get it in that form. So we're going to move that x to the other side. So plus x plus x. So my equation is y equals x plus 5. Everybody okay? That's fine. Okay. What is the slope of this line so far? What is the slope of the line? What's the number in front of x? 1. Okay, so the slope is 1. If I want it to be parallel, then I'm going to use a slope of 1. They tell me a point, so I'm going to use the point slope formula, which I will give to you. The point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All you're going to do is take this and this slope and plug it in. So this is going to give me y minus 2 equals 1 times x minus 5. Perpendicular. Now, we have to do the negative reciprocal. So if I have a slope of 1, and I wanted to flip it, that would just still be 1 over 1, but I'm going to make it negative. Okay? I'm going to do the exact same equation, except my slope is just going to be negative 1. So I'm going to say y minus 2 equals negative 1 times x minus 5.
Parallel would be first, and then after that.
Yeah. First things first, I got to move this guy to the other side. A lot of you did not do that. Painful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you should have gotten y equals negative 2x plus 7. Now, your slope is going to be negative 2. Yes?
Almost right. Yeah. Almost right.
Okay. Now we're going to plug in. Remember, 5 is x1, 9 is y1. What?
Why X there? Then, like,
What do you mean?
that means longer actually.
No, your slope is the number that is associated with x.
Oh,
Yeah. Now we're going to write out our equation. y minus -9 equals -2 times x minus 5. Now, you see this negative, what do? Make it a positive. -2 times x minus 5. Boom. Now, perpendicular. What do we change?
You make the slope negative.
When you flip it. So, I keep everything else the same. But now I'm going to flip this guy. How do I flip 2? What is that going to be? 1/2, positive 1/2. Questions? One more? One more practice. Yeah? One more perpendicular? Yeah, I feel that. How are we feeling about this? Okay, the biggest mistake that people will make is that they don't switch this guy around first. Make sure you move all that junk over to the other side before you start doing anything. Okay. Because both of these are positive, so the original equation, we already have a negative. So it's y minus 3, since it's positive. That makes sense? Okay, look over on the board. I have the slope-intercept form up at the top. That's how your equation should look before you start doing things. Your point-slope form, that's what you're going to plug into. And then I gave you slope just in case. But you won't need that.